Hi, my name is Hope. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to talk a little bit about The Housekeeper and the Professor by Yoko Ogawa. This is a fictional book. It's quite short. Here's a quick synopsis. The main character, who is actually nameless, and all of the characters in this book are nameless. You never learn anyone's real name. They are all known by either their relationship to the professor or a nickname. The main character of this book is a single mother who has a son that's 10 years old. She is employed by an agency in Japan, where this book takes place, and she's a housekeeper. She's been a housekeeper since she has given birth to her son 10 years ago. She is paired with this professor who is known to be somewhat ornery and difficult to get along with. That's just kind of been the track record with him. So he has had 10 housekeepers quit. He lives with his sister-in-law in a kind of a separate cottage area on her property. The unique thing about the professor particularly is that his memory only lasts 80 minutes. And he only remembers everything fully up into the year 1975. Obviously, the first and main obstacle, and the obstacle throughout the book, centers around the professor's memory. His memory is a character in the story, and it also becomes, of course, inescapable for the other characters that he comes in contact with and is surrounded by. We will see scenes throughout the book where he is interacting with the world and with strangers, and how his memory is a constant character and companion, which is interesting because it's sort of a complex kind of paradox, because his memory, or the loss of it, is what characterizes him in the latter part of his life, but it's non-existent. And so that's one of the main sort of existential themes that Yoko Ogawa deals with in this book, is sort of like our sentience and our memories give us our personhood, but does it? Why do we love the people that we do? Is it because of their capacities? Is it because they better us? Is it because they can offer us something? Or do we love them because they're human and we have a connection with them? The housekeeper develops, obviously, a relationship with the professor where it is inevitable that it will only be one-sided, in the sense that he can never offer her back the same kind of care, concern, and depth that she and her son can offer him. The story itself has no plot, so I would not go into this thinking for some great plot twist or some like crazy kind of apex moment or climactic moment. The book in and of itself is the inner dialogue of the character is the center and the heart of the story. Her interactions with her son, we have sometimes very vivid flashbacks of her past. We don't get to know any of the characters in this book very well, which I think is on purpose. In a book about memory, the present is very, very important. It is absolutely vital, especially with this professor's specific condition. He only remembers up until a little over an hour of what has happened previously. And so you just see the continual patience and long suffering and the work and the effort on the part of the housekeeper and her son to give dignity to this brilliant professor who has won various awards for math equations that he has solved. And the relationship that they form is, if you would like to say, what is the climax of this book? What is sort of the fever pitch of the plot, you would say, is their relationship that they form and the nature of it. So throughout the book, specifically the main character, I found it really moving and touching how she would give dignity to the professor by still honoring him, even though she knew that if she were to say something or to do something in his house, that even if he wouldn't notice it or remember it or even remember her, that she still wanted to honor him in subtle ways and in grandiose ways that he would be able to recognize, and did not seek to take advantage of him, which would be very easy to do. And you see her also have a character arc in the sense that she grows very sensitive to things that will upset him and things that will delight him, things that he would enjoy. And I think that is such an important part of the human experience, is getting outside of yourself. Stop the self-obsession with how you're feeling about your life and your own personal circumstances. Getting outside of your life in your personal situation in order to serve and love someone else. This could translate into various other areas of your life as a parent, a spouse, someone who's taking care of their parent, someone who's taking care of a child. You know, what is the thing that compels us to be self-sacrificial to someone who may never recognize or can never recognize the sacrifices that we make for them? And so, yeah, I enjoyed this book. Some critiques. I thought, for me personally, there was some inconsistencies with the way in which, or maybe not inconsistencies, but just it was sometimes unclear to me how exactly his memory worked. So he had a special system of sort of keeping track of things, and I won't spoil that for you because that's actually a really fun part of the book, I thought. And that also was another character. And so there's a theme throughout this book where non-characters are sort of the character. That to me was a little bit confusing sometimes. It's like, well, I thought he wouldn't be able to recall something like that, and then like, why is he responding this way to this, but that wouldn't bother him? And so I just had some questions. This isn't really a critique. This is actually a non-critique. It's just something about me personally. I do not like math. I never was good in math. And also, I don't like baseball. And those two things are a huge aspect and two major themes of this story. And I loved the book. Yoko Ogawa was specifically using math and baseball, the two interests of the professor, to reveal more about him and about the world than it was really about those two subjects themselves, which I think is why this book can be universally read and enjoyed by people who don't care about those things. And I think that is certainly a gift on behalf of the writer, to draw a reader in and have the whole book be about something that I don't care about and never have, and to appreciate those things more. There is a beauty in every area of creation, all areas of creation that God has made. I recommend the book. I gave it 4 stars. I was kind of ready to be done with it by page like 160, but there was only like 20 pages left. But for the most part, I really enjoyed this. As far as content goes, it's very clean. I don't even remember reading any foul language, 0 sexual content. The relationships of each character, the relationship between the mom and the son, has a very, very subtle arc and transition that I think you have to be looking very hard for. I liked it. So that is it for this video. Let me know if you plan to read The Housekeeper and the Professor, or if you have, and what you thought about it. I plan to read more by her, hopefully soon. But with that, here's my cup of decaf, because it is at night. I hope that you have a great rest of your day and your week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.